Today it's time to have some fun with some polymer clay. I want to see what I can make out of it. Now, I have played around with polymer clay before with limited success, but one of my members on my other channel, Rhonda, has really inspired me. So, as always, I'm going to try and run before I can walk. These two that I've got, a beige and a grey. Now, this one is actually got quite dry, so it's going to need warming up. Now, I can't be bothered to warm this up in my hands and go for all that effort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into my resin curing machine and see if that will warm it up for me and get it lovely and warm. And as a result, make it much easier for me to blend in. I'm going to put it in there for about 10 minutes. If you haven't got yourself one of these, then I'll link it in the description below. Oh my goodness. I use it for so many different things that it actually wasn't designed for, but it works brilliantly. What I'm going to do is, I've got lots of mica powder, as you can probably guess. I'm going to see if I can colour the polymer clay using mica powder. And I'm sure this has probably been done lots of times before, but not by me. And I've not necessarily seen it done. It's been in that machine now about 2 or 3 minutes, and it's already started to warm it up and made it a lot more pliable. It's never going to bake it, so that's fine because it doesn't get to the temperatures of baking it, but it's going to save me a lot of hard work needing it. So let's have a look. That's been in there now 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't believe that's the same clay. It's so easy to use. And the reason I've got gloves on is because I'm about to add mica powder to these bits and knead it in. And also, mica powder being a powder, what that's going to do is, again, that's going to dry it out. So that's all the amount of the baby oil I'm going to put in. Look how easy that is. Honestly, you wouldn't believe the difference. Now, I'm not sure if the mica powder is going to work on the grey, and that's why I've got the beige. And I know that you can also get a white. The first one I'm going to try is this orange one. And I want quite a bit of mica powder in this because I want it to be quite mica-y looking. And I'm going to spread that about and then knead that through and see if it really does do anything to the colour. Oh, it really has changed it and made it lovely and sparkly. Look how easy that is to knead. Honestly, that is one of the best machines I've ever got. Thank you to everyone that got me a coffee, because it's people like you that allow me to buy these machines and test them out and do different things with them as well. Now I'm going to do a beige one with the same colour. About the same amount I want. Oh, look how bright, beautiful and sparkly that is. I've mixed all my colours up now and I'm really pleased with how they've come out. The ones on the left here are the ones with the grey clay, and the ones on the right are the ones with the beige clay. So what I'm going to do is rake these up like this and place them randomly about next to each other, on top of each other. I'm going to keep going around, pushing these bits down onto them and in random shapes and patterns. All the colours I've chosen, and using both the grey and the beige coloured ones as well. And now what I'm going to do is bring this together into a cube, hopefully getting rid of any air bubbles that could be in it. Happy with that. Now I'm going to bring these two together and I'm going to roll them out in my pasta machine, which I've got attached to my table here. I'm not using the clamp because I always feel that that's not beefy enough. So what I'm using is some just normal clamps here, and I'm putting it through on the largest setting to start with. And I'm going to put that through a couple of times to make sure it's nicely mixed up. Yeah, that's all nicely mixed up. And now what I'm going to do is wrap this around, and now I'm going to roll it, hopefully stretch it out a little bit. So quite even if I can. I'm really just making sure that that is adhering to that. And I think that's quite well done. Trim a little bit off the front. Let's look at it. Oh, that's looking pretty in there. So now I'm going to do a thicker bit, squeeze that down a bit, and then pop that through my pasta machine. Look how beautiful and translucent that has become. I love that. Oh look, I've got a bit of red there. Oh wow. Do another one all the way through. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm loving that. We've got those ready to bake, and some I've twisted up, some I've cut up, and others I've just got in lengths. And what I'm going to do is pop these in the oven and bake those. While that's baking up, what I'm going to do is do something with these pieces that are left over. Try and roll them like that, the two colours together. See what happens. Get them to the same length. I don't care if they're not the same thickness at this stage, because all I'm going to do is pop them together. And I'm going to put a little thin bit of black in places. I might get probably 2 canes out of this more goldy one. Nah, that'll be all right. Oh, I suppose I could get a thin one as well. Put that in somewhere in a minute. I just don't want to waste this and put it away. I want to try something else. Hey, that should be fine. Tidy those ends up. Now I'm going to push that together. I haven't used this one yet, and because I'm going to use that as a backing. I'm really liking the way that's come out, and now what I'm going to do is trim some bits off here like this, and then get them fairly round. Okay, so I've cut a little template out of just normal paper, and I'm going to cut around that template. These are going to be quite thick, these ones. Smooth those edges out. A little bit baby oil again. I think it would be easier if I had a cutter. I'm sure they make cutters for these. Let me know in the comments if you've got any cutters. I quite like that. And then bake them up. And then I'll show you what they look like baked and how they've come out. Well, these have all baked now and they've gone nice and firm. These ones are a bit thin, so I'm going to coat those in a UV resin so they're a lot stronger. I made these little square bits as connectors, and these are the ones I bent over the wooden dowels. I think they've come out quite pretty, and I love these rolled up ones as well. I think they've come out really cute as well. The larger ones I'm going to varnish, and we can have a look and see what's the difference between coating them in UV resin or coating them with varnish. And I'm going to use a gloss varnish. I'm using quite a soft brush for these, and I think I'm only going to varnish face and the side. I'm not going to varnish the underneath. And depending on what they look like after this first coat will depend on whether I need to give them a second coat. And now what I'm going to do is dome these using the high viscosity UV resin on this side. Then I'll probably turn them over and dome them on the other side as well. The high viscosity is without a doubt the best doming resin I have ever used. And once you've filled it up like that, leave it for a couple of seconds, and if you've added any bubbles, because I'm terrible at adding bubbles to this by pushing them in, all you got to do is then go over them with a long neck lighter and they'll burst and you'll have a lovely smooth piece. And I'll cure these up for 3 minutes each side, and as my test has shown on my other channel, 3 minutes is enough to cure up the UV resin from Jadiction and have no stickiness at all. So they're all nicely coated, bubble free. Now I'm going to use my giant UV lamp to cure all those up in one go, because that way it saves me a lot of time. And this is by Jadiction as well. I will link everything I've used today in the description below as well. So thank you, Rhonda, for the absolute inspiration. Well, this is them all finished and made up, and I'm really pleased with them. These are a little bit too thick, and I do prefer the way that it comes out with the resin. Although I varnished these ones and I varnished these ones and the back of these, and that looks great. I think it's because these are a little bit too thick. As pendants, I'm sure they're going to be lovely. I think these are nice long necklaces, but we'll see what happens with them. And with the little pieces, I obviously made some more earrings as well. And this is the earrings I made from the smaller pieces. I think they look very pretty in them. I think they look lovely. They hang really well. They were so easy to make, and all I did was put a jump ring with a little tiny silver ball on the bottom, and I think that finishes them off really well. There we go, Holly. You said you missed me flicking my imaginary long hair. There we go, especially for Holly, one of my members of my other channel. I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's all about practice and having the courage to have a go at these things. If you've enjoyed this video, boot that like button. It really helps my videos to get out there. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more of my crafting adventures. Take care, enjoy your crafting. Bye.